Hello, welcome to Starfinder on Dungeon Dwellers. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons in space, basically. I'm Sarah, I'm DMing, or GMing, I guess, in this case. We are a couple players short tonight, but we're just going to jump right in and see where things go. I'm going to just run through quick introductions because I don't want to take up too much time. So we have Brian, who's playing Ergon, a Dragonkin soldier. Tyler is playing Terowin, a female drow bounty hunter. And Winston is playing Fisk, who is an Isoki rat person pilot. And the last session, we left off with you guys had all made it to Brethida with the Clear Heart drug that is the cure for Warpart. You had docked. You'd had a fun experience of the ship getting turned upside down. But you made it all the way to the Dreaming City. And you met someone who had a weird connection with Deoda that you're not sure about yet. And I think what we left off with was everybody heading back to the ship. Is that correct?
I believe Deoda was staying there, I guess.
Fisk already left. He's on the way back to the ship.
Right. No, I think Deoda was going back to the ship. Based on some stuff that we talked about outside of the game.
But I was definitely going back to grab a sample of the drug.
Okay, so you're going back for a sample. Fisk is going back, I assume, heading to engineering. Is that correct?
That's a good assumption. Yeah.
And Ergon, what are you doing?
I'm just going back to the ship.
Okay, sounds about right. So, Fisk, what are you doing in engineering?
So, what Fisk is doing is repairing the very clearly malfunctioning lateral guidance system that caused so much strife and drama on the atmospheric approach. So, what Fisk has done is he has popped open the panel where this system is, and he has disconnected wires and open its casing as if he were effecting or had just finished effecting a repair on this system.
Okay. And Terowin, what are you doing?
I'm going to grab a sample of the Warpart cure.
Okay. So that's in the cargo bay. Those are pretty big canisters, and you don't really see a way to take like a sample of them. Do you want to just take one of the canisters?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And then you're just going to head back to the lobby area?
Yeah, what was that woman's name?
Her name was Dino.
Dino, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to go see if I can find Dino.
Okay. When you make it back to the lobby, she's definitely not there. The only person in the lobby at this point is the receptionist behind the desk who Dino had spoken to previously. And the receptionist, go ahead and make hang on. Make a culture check for me to see if you recognize what race she is. Sorry. You do recognize what race she is. So she looks kind of fish-like, kind of green skin. She has gills and a fishbowl on her head. You've never met one like in person. but you know basically roughly what race she is, which is a Kalo. They're from an ice planet or an ice moon that circles Brethida. And she can't really communicate with you very well because she, like I said, she has basically a fishbowl on her head. And you're a little confused at why they would have her be a receptionist, to be perfectly honest.
That is rather confusing. Can she sign or anything like that?
Well, are you going to approach her?
Yes.
Okay. As you approach, she greets you by nodding her head and then types something on her computer, and you notice that there's a little kind of electronic sign at the top of her desk that the words appear on. So she's typing to you, and she says, "Hello, how can I help you?"
I just met with Dino. I'm bringing the warpath cure, warpart cure.
Okay, so she kind of looks at you askance a little bit and the container that you're carrying, and she says, types out to you, "I see. Dino let me know that you would be bringing a sample." She kind of eyes the canister like, "What the fuck is that? That's really big." And she's and then she resumes typing and says, "A few of our scientists will be here shortly to meet with you and escort you to the testing labs to make sure that what you have brought is genuine. If you don't mind taking a seat," and she gestures to some chairs on the side of the lobby, "they will be with you shortly."
I'll go sit down.
Okay. Sorry, I heard a noise. Kate, did you join?
Yeah, I've been here about 10 minutes.
Okay. Winston, do you have everything set up?
Absolutely not. It'll take me some time. Sorry.
That's okay. I just checking.
God damn it, Winston.
Okay.
Can't you just?
Can't you just? Ergon, what are you doing?
Honestly, you're probably just in the ship, attempting to assist Fisk. Probably not successfully.
Okay. So you're in the engineering bay with him?
Correct.
Please make an engineering check for me.
Who?
Ergon.
Pulling it up.
Okay. You're not super skilled with engineering and computers. I mean, you have some technical ability, but it's not like it's your forte. You're a little confused as to what Fisk is doing, and you can't quite figure out what he's trying to accomplish.
Fisk, what are you trying to do?
I'm fixing the guidance computer.
How do you do that?
You don't see that the guidance computer really needs fixing. But I mean, then again, you're not sure. You aren't a professional with computers or anything, but it doesn't look broken to you.
What's broken with it?
Well, you see the lateral guidance coupling component here. There is a third pathway, fourth down from the second capacitor up here, and I believe it became fused. So I was working on decoupling that so we could restore operation. I don't think we need to replace it or anything, but we can get it fixed. I'm almost done.
Okay, Fisk, can you... I'm sorry, that was really funny. I guess could you make a bluff check for me?
Okay.
Roll it again. You have advantage on that because that was a really good role play. Wow.
Uh,
All right. Ergon, can you roll sense motive twice for me and take the lower? Okay, he believes
God
you.
damn it.
Amazing.
Seriously? That's some crap.
All right, so Ergon, you believe everything Fisk just said.
All right.
Deodat,
Sounds good.
Yes.
you are meditating?
Yeah.
Okay, have you sent your note yet?
Yeah. Let's say I don't. Well, how much time has passed? Where are we right now?
Not a whole lot of time has passed yet.
Because she pretty much sent it like immediately when she got back to her quarters. If that helps.
Okay, yeah. Your terminal pings and you receive a reply.
Oh my goodness.
It's in your folder.
Okay, pulling it up. Oh, there we go. Okay, do you want to move on to something else while I read, or do you want to give me like 2 minutes to read it?
Yeah, we'll move on to something else. So Fisk, or sorry, not Fisk, Terowin. As you are waiting for the scientists to join you, you see a pair of, you're gonna take a wild stab and guess that these are probably techs, the technicians that Dino mentioned could be assisting with the ship. They're a pair of Asoki, and they're wearing very grubby, greasy overalls, and they've got toolkits, belts on, and whatnot. They look very stereotypically like they should be speaking with a thick Jersey accent and working on the underside of a car.
Makes sense to me.
Not that you know where Jersey is or what a car is.
Okay, I guess I'll stand up when I see them.
They scurry over to you. Hey, are you the broad with the ship that needs the check-in?
I'm sorry?
It's your ship. It needs seeing to. We was told that somebody was here with a ship that needed seeing to.
Yes, why don't you go look at it?
All right, point us in the right direction.
I will point them in the right direction.
Okay, they kind of nod to you and then scurry off. Fisk, you hear a familiar sound of what sounds like approaching Asoki, coming up to the engineering area. The dock doors, the bay doors are docked with the station, so those are open right now. But they come through and make it to the door of engineering and kind of look around and then bang on the door a little bit.
Fisk is currently beginning to reconnect the guidance computer into the wiring harness.
All right, make an engineering check. It's a good thing you have a really, really high modifier on that.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do about the knocking? You definitely hear them knocking.
Yeah, can I help you?
Hey, we's here to take a look at the ship. We was told you needed some assistance getting her back in the air.
What you're like bringing us fuel or something?
No, we was told you had an issue with her. She wasn't acting right, and that you might need some help. So we're here.
Hate to break it to you, but she's all fixed.
Are you doing this through the door, or have you opened the door?
Nope, I'm just shouting. I'm still plugging things in.
You know what you're doing in there?
Really? You'd question one of your own? I feel like I'm a little hurt right now.
Hey, no offenses intended. We just, I just want to make sure. My buddy here, he doesn't know as much as I do. You hear an ow from outside, as presumably the other Isoki elbows him. What? I'm just saying, I've been doing this longer. And I just want to make sure that you guys are space worthy before you leave.
So while they're after I'm echoing through something. Anyhow, as they question me, and I say, "You questioning one of your own?" Fisk gets up and scampers over to the door and opens it. So while they're finishing this, he would be facing them.
Oh, hey. They kind of peer around you and look at the state of the engineering bay. Is everything kind of put back up now, or?
The panel's open, but everything's been plugged in. It kind of just looks like all that's left is to tuck the wires back into place. There's a couple tools lying on the ground next to the access hatch.
So, what was your trouble?
Listen, fellas, I appreciate it. It's always good to see a fellow rat folk out here, but we just had a little bit of an issue with the guidance system.
And the guidance system? That shouldn't be too big of a deal.
What
happened?
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't much of a big deal. I don't really know why they summoned you guys. I guess they doubt me still.
Oh, yeah, no one ever takes us serious around here. They take a look at us and they think, what, they're little rat folk. They don't really get us. I feel ya.
That's the easiest part about being a rat folk. Easy not to be seen, but it gets a little tiring sometimes,
Yeah, I know. You been back by Akaton recently?
Have I? I don't think I have.
No, not really.
It's been longer than I want.
Oh, yeah, same. My buddy here, and he points to the other Asoki, who you notice thus far has not said anything. He's like, he came more recent than I did. He's been here only a few months, but he's mute, so he's not much to talk about, and I miss it.
Yeah, me too. I got family back there, a lot of them, and it's been too long since I see them. That's how I started all this. I was trying to earn a living to send back to them, but been wandering the stars a little longer than I meant to. Well, listen, fellas.
You hear any of the news from there?
Is there something I should know about?
Yeah, the Daldawat, the Keshti, they're like a sacred mating area, with the big the lizards entangled in the sculpture, statue, whatever. That eyesore out in the middle of the desert where they pilgrimage to have their mating rituals so they don't become Riveners. You know what I'm talking about, right? You would, for the record. Fisk would know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think that was coming through the microphone. Is anyone else hearing Winston?
Nope.
Vaguely.
No.
Oh, there he is. I heard hello.
Yeah, you heard that through mine.
Oh, I thought I saw his light up.
How about now? Anything?
Yeah.
Ah!
There we go.
Well,
A lot of things.
Messing with settings because I keep coming through Kate's mic, and I guess I turned it down too much.
No, it's probably me. Because I'm using that work headset and it's deafening me right now, and I can't really turn it down much. It's either on or off, but I'll mess with it.
Yeah. Okay, what was Fisk saying?
I think he was confirming that he knew what they were talking about.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I never really got it myself, but yeah, I know it.
Yeah, well, someone I guess is trying to send a message, so it's gone now.
Like somebody took it?
No, I mean it's it's like a 50-foot tall statue. No, someone blew it up. Controlled detonation.
Oh, man, when did that happen? Does anybody know who it was?
No, but they're pointing a lot of fingers at us, at the Asoki. And now they've stopped doing their hunts, their patrols to hunt down the Riveners. They basically think if we have such of a problem with them and their Riveners that they're not going to take care of it anymore.
What? They're pointing fingers at us peaceful rat folk?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
Oh man, maybe it's not so bad to be away, but boy, I worry about my family.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, and you know what I think? I think that the Keshti did it to themselves. I mean, there's so many Riveners around that area, around the Dal Dawat. You know, they're crazy. They don't mate, and then the chemicals in their brain and makes them go nuts. You know, I think one of them has did it, and they're just trying to cover it up by pointing fingers at us.
Oof. Yeah, I guess I could believe it. They get pretty crazy when that goes on. Yeah, wow. Jeez.
Yeah, but you know, they're all on about their sacred site and how we don't have any respect for them. I mean, they're giant lizard folk, and what are we supposed to do? We're rat folk. We're tiny. What threat are we to them? But no, it's our fault, obviously.
Can I roll like a perception to see if I like have like eventually like noticed them on the ship, if I've heard them or something?
Are you in your room? Because that's the floor up, so I don't know if you would be able to notice them.
That's true. I mean, well, so like, which way is the way out? Because I would have read that letter and left immediately.
Okay, yeah, you would have had to go down through the cargo bay, so you would have seen them as you were leaving.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
In which case, you don't really need to roll a perception. It's not like they're having a quiet, private conversation.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, like, if they're still talking, I probably would have turned around by now, and run into them.
Okay, so you just want to approach them?
Yeah.
Okay, you can walk up to them. They're definitely, the one is kind of just hanging out, mute, and the other is actively, like, very excitedly gesticulating and ranting on to Fisk. Who, I don't know, Fisk, do you look like you're enjoying this conversation or like you would like a way out of it?
Yeah. Fisk did want a way out, but he's catching up with his people. He can't be too upset. He looks pretty relaxed. He's chatting with them.
Okay. Do you want to talk to them or say anything?
Yeah. Well, fellas, I do hate that you came all the way out here just for a guidance system. Can I get you something? Do you guys want some food or drink? Or I hate to just send you packing.
Yeah. You wanna the cafeteria has limited beverages, but we can probably get something there. You want to go get a drink? Or I mean, eat if you don't drink. I mean, whatever. I don't judge.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time, but let me close this panel up here, and I'll meet you guys over there.
All right, sounds good. He turns around and just kind of walks directly into Deoda's legs. I'm sorry. Sorry, Toots. I didn't see you there.
It's fine. Did you say something about the cafeteria?
Yeah, we're heading there now. We're gonna wait for your friend here. We're gonna get drinks. Catch up, Isoki style.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah, which direction is it? Straight ahead and sorry, to the left, right?
It's straight through the lobby and then the hall on the right.
On the right. Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's a straight shot. Yeah, we're going there now. You want to go with us?
I mean, I'm in a kind of a hurry, but if you see me lost, then I probably got lost, and you could just direct me there. Thanks.
Yeah, anytime.
And she'll just kind of jump on by.
You hear as you are leaving, Yeah, look at the gams on that one.
were they even being
Okay.
subtle about it?
No.
Oh boy.
Probably like the only time Daeda's like ever heard anyone compliment her in like years.
Okay, so yeah, why don't we flip over and see what? By the way, Ergon, you were present for that conversation.
Yeah, I know.
You probably didn't really get most of what they were talking about. You at least know
No.
that the Keshti are a race of lizard folk, and you are familiar with them because they are kind of similar to dragonkin, and so they get along with dragonkin pretty well. And you are also familiar with what's called a Rivener, which is an Akeshti who has not mated. If they don't mate, they go mad and turn into like giant ravenous beasts called Riveners. And that's about all that you really know. The rest of it kind of was just like, what the frick are these little mice people talking about?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go with Deoda then. And you are headed to the cafeteria.
Yes.
Okay. So you make it to the cafeteria pretty easily. It would be tough to get lost on the way there, to be honest. And you walk in and kind of look around the room, and you don't immediately see Dino anywhere.
Okay. I'll like go stand somewhere kind of like maybe a little centralized to get a good view of the room and kind of cross my arms and tap my foot a little, like can I like trying to look like you're not completely lost. You're just like, "Oh yeah, like I'm just, I'm here like waiting on somebody, like nothing interesting here." I'm trying to like be inconspicuous.
Right. Okay. So a couple of minutes go by. You catch a few weird stares because you're just kind of standing in the middle of the room. But you also have the advantage of being Kasatha, and a lot of Kasatha are here. In fact, as you take the room in, you notice about half of the people here are Kasatha, and the other half are kind of a motley mix of other races that are clearly volunteering their time here as workers in this basically hospital. But a full half of the people around here are Kasatha. And they kind of, once they see you and take note of you, they're like, oh, okay, it's just another Kasatha. We don't know why she's standing in the middle of the cafeteria like that, but, that's not that abnormal. So you're kind of not sticking out very much.
That's nice.
A few minutes later, Dino comes kind of rushing through the door, panting a little bit. And she looks around, sees you, and immediately charges over to you. I am so sorry. I was stopped on the way here by, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Can I get you a drink or something?
Yeah. Let's both get one.
Okay. Yeah, what do you want anything to eat as well?
It's been a while since we've actually had a real meal. I don't think I was present the last time we did. That'd be nice, even if it is trash cafeteria food.
Yeah, right. If I remember correctly, you don't love greasy food, right?
Not my favorite. Tend to stick with the vegetables where I can.
Salad. Okay. I'll be right back. And she runs off, and a couple of minutes later comes back with a tray that has a couple of salads on it and two large, kind of tall glasses. And instead of sitting down at one of the cafeteria tables, she kind of like jerks her head towards the exit and says, I don't have a way to say this that doesn't sound awkward, but do you want to come back to mine for drinks?
Sure, it's pretty busy in here, and There are a lot of Kasatha. I'd rather not have a conversation. I'd like to avoid.
Yeah, right. This way. So she leads you out of the cafeteria and down a number of halls. And are you... What mental state would you say that Deoda is in right now?
She's definitely nervous, but she's kind of gone into like purposefully like calm, like meditative almost. Like she's trying to keep her cool and appear like not frazzled like she was the first time they met when she was like really like caught off guard. And like emotional. So she's trying to like make up for that by being like very like patient and very calm and kind.
Okay, roll a perception check for me.
Great.
You notice Dino's ass looks really good in those pants.
Oh, okay. Don't have to have a high roll for that.
Yeah, there's not much else you notice, but that's what you notice.
Excellent.
Okay, so after about like 10 minutes of walking, which I'm assuming, unless you say anything, is going to be spent in awkward silence, you make it to her room. You aren't going to try to initiate conversation or anything, right?
Maybe I said a couple of things like, "Oh, nice place here. How's the weather?" But nothing of interest.
Okay. So you guys get to her room, and she kind of bumps her hip against the door. There's a little key card on her hip, and the door beeps and opens. And she steps in and sets the food down, kind of indicates the room to you, like, come on in. And it is a very small, like 10 foot by 10 foot room with a bed and a desk and a terminal and a chair. And there's like a little attached, basically closet bathroom. And that's it. It's very bare.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sorry that I don't have a lot to offer, but if you would like to sit on the chair, I'll just stand for now.
No, I prefer the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. She kind of sits cross-legged on the ground across from you and puts the tray in between you. Okay, so now that we're in private, what the fuck?
Excuse me?
I mean, you're Deoda, right? I mean, I'm sorry, you're Solus, right?
Yes. And you are Geo.
Yeah. Last time I met you, you weren't Borai.
No, I wouldn't have been then.
Is this how you survived?
Survived being, I guess, the operative word here. I'm not alive exactly, but I exist still, and I guess that's really the question, isn't it?
I mean, she kind of glances at you and then away and says, I prefer you existing to not at all.
Yes, I guess that's true. I guess since you already know, there's no point in wearing all this. So Deoda will take her hood off. Obviously Kasatha still like cover their mouths with like their little like they almost look like respirators, but they're never said that they're respirators. But she has like versus some Kasatha just have like a head wrap. She actually has like a metal like respirator like thing.
Okay.
But like underneath that is more like a fabric piece. Because I assume like this atmosphere is breathable since everybody else is breathing it.
Yes.
So she like takes off her hood and she has like a really like high scarf and collar and everything. And so she like kind of like pulls that back and takes off like the metal like mouth guard piece, so it's just like the veil. So like uh Dino would like be able to see that she has like very pale skin even for a Kasatha, and there's like black, like really dark like energy, like swirly things like veins like underneath her skin that are like kind of moving, and that her eyes, instead of being like all black like a normal Kasatha, they're dark, but they have like a sort of hazy glowy ring near the center where like they have like a kind of a weird shaped pupil, so you'd actually be able to like see like the pupil shape.
Dino kind of just looks at you for a minute, and then in an effort to kind of break the silence, makes comments. I mean, I didn't expect it would be so easy to get you to take some of your clothes off.
Trust me, I don't like to have to be disguised all the time. It's just for my own protection, Data says, completely missing the innuendo.
Right. Of course. I don't think I would like to be all covered up either. So what happened? I mean, I remember that you guys were, set upon by a marooned one, and we couldn't even get back in there to do a rescue op. It was too risky. How did you get out?
Well, when we first ran into it, and pardon me if I don't remember it as well as I should, sometimes memory is oddly creative. But the first time we ran into him, I'm not really sure. They sent out the alarm to try to get everybody else out because, I mean, you don't usually escape that kind of thing. And we quickly realized that that wasn't the only one there. The whole place could have been covered in them for all we knew, but there wasn't time. And my entire team was killed in an instant, or at least it felt like one. When he came for me, I could feel myself dying. And I guess that's the strangest part, is that I could have swore I did. And maybe it's just all the training I've already done to be a Solarian, but it sort of just came to me. And out of nowhere, I summoned my first mote of solar light. And I guess I killed him with it. I'm really not sure. I woke up and everything felt so different. And I sort of just climbed into an escape pod and jettisoned myself. They didn't seem to notice me, aside from the one. I don't know, maybe I got lucky. Maybe it was something else. I haven't gone back, though, so I'm not sure.
I mean, I know after Lishperditas, I didn't expect anyone to be alive, and when we started communicating, it was amazing, but I don't think I ever really questioned or thought about how you made it out. I guess I assumed you just managed to get to an escape pod, but of course that doesn't make any sense in retrospect. I just wasn't thinking about things clearly. Wow. I don't know if I should say sorry, but I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, me too. I guess I just want to know more about it, what I am and everything. I mean, I know there's plenty of examples of Borai in the universe, but the majority of them are made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen spontaneously all the time. And I don't know what the mechanism for that is. So I've been trying to track down as much information as I can about them, but it seems like there's very little. I don't know if there's just no interest or research being done into it, or maybe people feel afraid.
Probably a little of both. I mean, just to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like I'm a zombie, you know, like I still have to eat and I still sleep and all of that. It's just that what's keeping me alive, she does like air quotes, isn't the same thing that keeps other people alive. It's something else. And I don't understand it, but I want to.
Right. Okay, so we are going to pause on this conversation for a second, and we're going to jump back over to Terowin.
Okay,
We will
AFK
come back.
real quick.
Yeah?
No, I said I have to AFK real quick. Landlord's coming over to fix the garage door.
Okay. Yeah, well, we will move over to Terowin.
Hello.
Hi, Terowin. Okay, so you've been sitting there for a while, and finally, and you've seen Deoda go past you. You've seen the engineers leave, or the technicians leave the ship and go past you. So if you wanted to say anything to either of them, did you need to?
Nope, just sitting here looking at my watch every once in a while.
Okay. And then after a little bit, you see Fisk head towards the cafeteria. Ergon, are you still on the ship?
I am still on the ship, yep.
Okay. It is around this time that you notice that Grits is missing. Well,
God.
I'm gonna do some stuff with Terowin, but then we'll come back to you and see what you want to do with that information. So, Terowin, it's been a little bit, and the doors across the lobby, not the doors to the cafeteria, but the doors across the lobby from you, open up, and a pair of Kasatha come out of that hallway and head directly towards you, make a beeline towards you.
Okay. I guess I'll stand.
The first one steps forward and says, greetings. Are you Terowin?
I am.
And is this the cure?
Yes, it is.
Okay, please come with us. We have to test this to make sure it's genuine, and also we have to make sure that this isn't some misguided assassination attempt. So, and you see now that they both have one of their many hands resting on the butt of laser pistols at their hips. And the message is pretty clear. It is, you're going to come with us quietly, or there's going to be trouble.
I mean, I know I'm not doing anything wrong, so I'm not going to say anything about that.
Okay. They stand kind of one to either side of you and start walking towards the same exit that they came through. If you would please follow us.
Of course.
Now, I know that you've already spoken to Dino, but we are going to ask you some questions. First of all, who is your employer?
My employer, I'm not exactly at liberty to say, but I'm working on behalf of Cassian. It was Cassian Pharmaceuticals?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember things.
Yay.
I'm working on behalf of Cassian Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, Dino mentioned that Cassian Pharmaceuticals aren't really known for curing.
I know, I've heard it before. We found it strange also, but it seems to work, so.
Yes, well, we have examined the Barathu that you brought with you. Soshi, I believe you all were calling her.
Yes.
She seems to have adapted to that name and also to the gender assigned, which is novel for a Barathu. She does seem to be in very good health. Unfortunately, right now, we can't determine that she ever had Warpheart to begin with, although tests are still ongoing.
Well, I can't exactly attest to that, but I wouldn't think that she's a liar, so...
Yes, right now we're just going on your word and her word, which is why we need to test this sample. You didn't have anything smaller?
This is the best I could do.
All right, fair enough. A couple hallways later, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Very nice. As you are following them, you can mentally take note of the turns that you are being taken through in the hallways, and you feel pretty confident that if you needed to, you could find your way back out.
That's not troubling at all.
So after you progress for a while, you go through another couple glass bubbles, and you make it to a pretty large one that, from what you can tell from where you've been traveling and the turns you've been taking, and also from what the city looked like as you were approaching, you think this is the pretty big bubble right in the center of the dreaming, or the lonely dream.
Oh, wow.
As you step through the doors with the Kasatha scientists, you see that this is basically a massive laboratory right in the center, where predominantly Kasatha, but also a few other races, are kind of scurrying around working, and it definitely looks like they're trying to come up with some kind of a cure or something. You're not super well versed with all of the medical jargon, but this definitely looks like a laboratory where one might be doing tests on vaccines or something of that ilk.
That makes sense to me. I mean, it's probably the most pressing thing that they've been having to deal with for a long time.
Yep. So they guide you over to a desk and gesture for you to take a seat.
I'm going to stand, because I've been sitting for a long time.
Well, all right. May we take this canister from you?
Please, feel free.
We are going to have to ask you to remain here while we test this, if you don't mind. You may stand if you prefer, but you will have to stay during the entire process of testing.
Do you know how long it will take?
We're not sure.
I've been waiting an awfully long time already.
We understand that, but there are rules that we have to follow for the security of this space station.
I understand that. Is there any way I can get some food or something?
Of course. The one of the Kasathas that has been guiding you turns to the other and kind of nods her head kind of sharply, and the other one scurries off. My assistant will bring you something shortly.
Thank you.
The Kasatha that you've been talking with takes the canister and just walks away from you. And another Kasatha comes over to take her place. This one definitely seems more like a male, bigger, wider, stronger looking, and definitely is giving you kind of a security guard kind of a vibe.
I was going to ask, does he have more guns?
Yeah, he has more guns.
All right, I'll just stand patiently.
He kind of stares at you for a second. As Kate has mentioned, and as you would know, the Kasatha have basically solid black eyes, so you can't really track where his pupils are looking, but he's kind of looking at you in the way that you're pretty familiar with men looking at your body, even though you can't tell for certain.
What
Just
an
gonna-
asshole.
Just gonna pretend like I'm unaware of this.
So, what's your name?
I'm sorry.
What's your name?
You can call me Tarwin.
So you're a philanthropist or something, bringing a cure here?
Sure, you could say that.
Do you do this sort of thing often?
What, save entire races of people? Not exactly.
So you think this is gonna save all the Barathu?
That's the idea.
It's a pretty tall order.
Well, that's what we've been told it is supposed to do, so that's what I think it's going to do.
So you weren't involved in making it or anything?
Do I look like a scientist?
This time definitely you can tell that he's like looking you up and down. No, I would not say that you look like a scientist.
I want to beat him up so bad.
What?
I want to beat him up so bad. I'm angry.
No,
Listen, what are you doing after this?
Probably getting on my ship and leaving.
Well, you don't want to stick around for a little bit, see how the cure works, maybe relax for a few days before you continue on your busy philanthropic space career?
Not with you, I don't.
Hey, what is that supposed to mean?
Damn.
Look, I know what you're implying. I'm not interested.
One of his hands kind of tightens on the butt of a laser rifle on his back. You care to run that by me again?
I said I'm not interested.
He definitely glares at you and then kind of turns around, keeping one of his hands on the butt of the gun. I am going to pop back over to Ergon. What are you doing, Ergon?
Kind of starting to wonder what Fisk is still doing, fixing the computers. Or no, I'm sorry. Ignore all of that. I lost track of
Okay.
everything that just happened the last hour for a minute.
That's not a problem. Go ahead.
Sounds like my Friday
Yeah.
night.
That's normal, right? Nothing happened. So I actually decide that I'm going to get on my terminal and I'm going to hit up, and I'm not going to remember his name because that'd be
Grits?
way too logical. No, hold on.
Oh, your captain.
Yeah. My captain. Yep. I was trying to find his name. I just couldn't remember it. Aldoth. I'm going to write a letter to Aldoth from the terminal in my room, back on the ship.
Okay.
Because I had some I got an interesting message from my captain, and I want to figure out, get some more information.
Okay. Well, I will leave you to that then. Fisk, what are you doing?
Fisk finished closing up the work he did repairing the damaged guidance computer,
Yes, very damaged.
and he scurried along to the cafeteria to look for the other two Asoki, who he begrudgingly agreed to go have a drink with.
Okay. They're sitting at the bar in the cafeteria, and the one that was very vocal waves frantically at you as you enter. Hey, over here, over here.
Fisk goes over to the bar and Bellies? Would it be Belly if you're a rat? I don't know. Belly's up to the bar alongside him. Hey, fellas.
Hey, so we didn't get your name. What's your name?
Oh, name's Fisk.
Nice to meet you, Fisk.
And how about you guys? I don't think I got your names either.
No, so this is Toka, and he points to the mute, and the mute Isoki glares at him. Like, you're pretty confident that's not really his name. That's just what this guy calls him.
Is Toka like a slur or a bad word of some sort?
It means small.
Is he small?
He's small.
Fisk is gonna kind of nod, but not nod like while grinning, just nod in recognition, but not necessarily agreeing per se.
Okay. And then he kind of jerks a thumb at himself and says, yeah, so this is Toka, and I'm Ken.
Did I hear that right? Ken, like Ken?
It's more like Kin.
Oh, like Kin. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance, fellas. What brings you guys all the way out here? I didn't know there were a lot of Asoki out here on Breathada.
No, I mean, there's not, but they have a need everywhere in the system for us techie types, and there's always jobs for those who want to look for them. We don't mind getting dirty, and we're pretty good at fixing things, making things go when they're supposed to go, all that kind of stuff. I got here, on Akaton, where I started. I hitched a ride with freighter. You know how it goes. You just kind of get off of Akaton on whatever ship will take you, and you go from there.
Yeah, no, believe me, I know exactly.
And then Toka here. Toka is my cousin. And I sent back home, I sent a letter and I said, there's work here. I can get you work. I can get you money. You can come help me. I'll pull some strings for you. And he came on over. And he's loved it ever since. And the look on Toka's face says, I regret this with every fiber of my being.
Did Kin just briefly become like a Jewish grandmother? I was waiting to hear, you gotta bring me grandchildren, go get a job.
It's because I'm doing a vaguely New Yorkish accent, and that's what Jewish grandmothers sound like.
Why do you never come around anymore? You're so skinny. Always
fixing
your
I was just
ships.
like, is Sarah just being a Jew?
I'm being a New
I
York.
almost brought up the Jewish like 4 times tonight, and I decided to hold it in.
I
definitely get that it's New York. It just was funny considering it's you.
When it started to get to the like, I can get you work, I can pull some strings.
Yep.
No,
It's a good income, it's a good living, you'll meet a good doctor.
All I know is it's fucking glorious, so just don't stop it.
I try to
it's
do good
mostly
accents
the
for you
making
guys,
everyone
and you
else
just
feel
mock
bad.
me.
No, it's we're only mocking you because we're in such admiration.
It's recognition.
At least I honestly am loving it. So please, don't stop.
It's recognition of your efforts. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good. It's always good helping the family out. Us Asoki are nothing if it's not for our family.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. My mother, she had me, but she also had like 7 others. And then, I've got cousins from all of her brothers, and I've got cousins from all of my dad's brothers and sisters. It's such a pack, and you feel like you gotta take care of them.
Only 7? You were from a small warren.
Yeah, I know. But I got enough cousins to make up for it, because we all live in one warren.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
They're real big on family. He's stuffing his mouth with peanuts right now. I'm like, as a massive pitcher of beer. Yeah, you feel obligated. And we had such a small warren, and My mom's brothers and sisters, they did too. Everybody kind of, I guess the genetics were towards the smaller side. And so we just kind of piled everybody onto one giant junker in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, I know exactly how it is. Did any of your family leave Akaton too, or are they all still back there?
No, I mean, some of them definitely left, but I'd say what? He looks at Taka and says, would you say like maybe 3/4 of them are still on Akaton? Taka kind of glares at him and then nods.
Do I get the impression that like Taka's just upset because of the name, or do I think like he's kind of being like frequently abused by his cousin here?
You get the feeling that Taka doesn't really like his cousin, and that he's pretty much just tolerating his presence. You don't feel like he's being abused necessarily, but he's probably pretty tired of being the one that Kin picks on all the time.
Okay. So no, I don't think like he beats up on him.
No.
I got it. Well, so how's the work out here? Do you guys get a lot of ships coming through that need repair? I mean,
Not as many as I would like. I mean, I'm sure you know what it's like. You want to work on ships. Ships are the fun. The big, shiny, pretty. They got the nice engines. They got the drift cores. It's exciting to work on ships. No, not enough ships come through here. I mean, the supply ships come regularly once a month, but there was almost never anything wrong with them, so not much for us to do. We're pretty much the only technicians on board this place. Most things run smooth as glass all the time, and when something breaks, it's on us.
yeah. I mean, that makes sense. What do you guys do to kill the rest of your time? Do you have other jobs? You just wait for ships to come through?
Well, with the station, things will break. And we spend a lot of time in the cafeteria, to be honest. He points over to a little conveyor belt that's moving like trays along into the kitchen. That thing breaks like every other day.
I believe it. Looks a little, doesn't look like it was really well thought out, honestly. I'm not surprised. If they just rearranged how those rollers worked and maybe adjusted the tension on that, it'd probably be a little better.
Well, you think I don't know what I'm doing here?
No, I mean by design, not by repair.
Oh, okay. Taka looks at you and nods enthusiastically, like he's agreeing with you. Well, you think you could fix it?
I mean, I could try, but I wouldn't want to. If that's your fella's bread and butter, I wouldn't want to make it work too well. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's not like it's our bread and butter. We're on a contract. We're unionized.
Of course. All the red folks spread out are in unions now. It's clever. I'll tell you what you should do, though. You want to make some good money? Just do what I did. Get yourself a shuttle and bounce from distress call to distress call. There's always someone needs fixing, and man, when your life support's leaking, they're always happy to pay.
Yeah. That's not a bad thought. What you think, Taka? You wanna get a shuttle with me? We'll go fly around the galaxy, just us two. Taka is like shaking his head violently, like, please God, no.
Yeah, well, if you want me to take a crack at that conveyor system with you, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, come with us. We'll take you down to our little engineering office. He kind of puts quotes around that. We got plenty of supplies. You help us fix this up. You can take what you want.
Hey, it'll be a pleasure to help you out. I still feel bad that you came all the way out to the ship for nothing. So yeah, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, no problem. He hops off his stool. He's still carrying his beer mug. You notice Taka hasn't drunk any of the beer that Kin got for him.
Fisk is gonna pick up. I keep thinking you say taco. I know you're not.
Taka.
But Fisk picks up Taco's beer and downs about half of it before wandering away to follow him.
Taka kind of like nods at you a little, like, yeah, all right. Okay, we are going to cut back over to Deoda. You guys have been, Deoda and Dino have been chatting in the interim. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss or have discussed?
I guess Data is gonna say, but enough about me. I'm not the only one who looks different.
Oh, this. And her tail kind of flicks up over her head. Well, in Brethida, bioengineering is kind of a thing, you know? Other places have cybernetics. We have extensive plastic surgery and genetic modifications. I wanted to fit in a little bit when I came out here, and it is really useful.
So I'm sorry, maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Are you saying it's grafted, or did you actually genetically alter yourself to grow one?
It's grafted, but there was some genetic alteration to make sure it stuck. I mean, you can graft a tail onto anybody, but if you don't have the nerve endings and the muscles to move it, it doesn't really do anything. So a little of both.
Interesting. Is that the only thing you've had done?
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure you remember, now that you know who I am, I was, the dumpy college student with the mousy hair and eats too much. Yeah, I had some other work done.
I never thought you were dumpy.
Why? I mean, I hope you don't mind. I just, it was a confidence booster.
Of course. No, I don't mind. You should do what makes you feel good.
She kind of grins at you when you say that. Yeah, I think I will.
So you're working here. What led from the Spreaditas to here? What I don't see the connection.
Well, after Lishbertitas, I decided xenoarchaeology was maybe not my thing. It was a little terrifying, and I decided to reel things back in a little bit. So I did a bit of continuing education, kind of leaning more towards the medical side of things, the biology side of things, and then I got an internship out on Brethida. Originally not here, but a position opened up and I jumped on it. It's pretty prestigious to work here. Mostly it's volunteers, so to get an actual paid position is difficult. But the need has been growing as we've been getting more and more desperate to find a cure. And I felt like I would really help make a difference,
Yeah, I think I understand that completely. I felt the same way. It's kind of why I started doing what I'm doing.
What are you doing anyway?
I might be answering the front door.
Oh, okay. You can run do that. We'll pop over to Ergon. So, Brian, were you done writing what you needed to write?
Yeah, I wrote my letter off to my captain, and very anxious, waiting for a response.
Okay. Did you send that to me somewhere?
No, but I can. Do you want it?
Yeah, just paste it into that same file so I can see what you wrote.
Okay. I won't lie, I gotta find it. So
That's
it'll
okay.
take a minute.
I'm back.
Okay. All right, I'm going to pop back to Deoda then while you're looking for that, Brian.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, so Dino had said, so what are you doing anyway?
Well, Gosh. Pardon me. It's funny. I completely open up to you about the whole fluoride thing, but I'm nervous about talking about this just because it's not exactly legal.
Okay.
I guess. Well, I'm going to assume that your quarters aren't bugged and that you're not going to suddenly decide to betray me, so I'll trust you with this. Well, I should preface this. You know a little bit about what I've been up to in the Burning Archipelago, a little bit of vigilante-ish work. Helps pay the bills that fast food doesn't pay. And I guess somebody heard about me. Can't exactly say how, but they offered a more permanent position doing work for them for a lot better money. So that's sort of how we ended up here in Brethida. We were tasked with going and picking up this cure and breaking it off of, was it Marita?
Yes, Marita.
Breaking it out of Marita and delivering it here because of, God knows what's going on in Marita.
So, vigilante justice, but kind of on a bigger scale.
Yeah, kind of a permanent, semi-permanent position. I have a team I'm with. You met them, kind of a motley crew, but they're nice.
Yeah. Sorry, have you been eating and drinking while this is going on, or have you kind of like ignored the food and drink?
I have been, and I swear there is something in the book about Kasatha eating and drinking publicly, and I can't remember what it was, but we'll go with that. She's eating and drinking.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you were like ignoring the food, and because I feel like there was something about that, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I feel like there was, but I'll look for it when we're not on my turn, just so I know. But for the sake of now, she's comfortable enough with Dino to enjoy the food and drink.
Okay, I checked it. It looks like they just eat under their little veil thing.
Okay, yeah, it was something like that. I was like, there's something about
they use a
drinking.
straw to drink usually.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. We'll assume that she grabbed a straw on her way out of the.
Yeah, I would say that Dino knows well enough that every single Kasatha on this station uses a straw.
Right. Okay. Yes, she is.
Okay. So, what are you doing after this?
I don't know. I guess we return back to our contact, get paid, and receive the next task.
Oh, so you're gonna leave, like, soon?
I mean, this is the plan. I don't know. I don't want to go.
She kind of moves from a cross-legged position to like on her hands and knees, like leaning over the tray towards you, and she kind of grins a little, and it looks off to you, and she says, have you considered donating your body to science?
Um.
And I'm gonna need you to roll a Constitution check.
Okay, 1 second.
I heard something very different for a minute.
It was not good.
You start to feel very lightheaded.
Oh God.
The room is spinning. There are black dots in front of your eyes, and you pass out.
Oh Lord.
And you wake up in a tub full of ice.
We are going to pop over to Terowin. Terowin, the guard that has been posted, after about 20 minutes or so, another guard walks over to relieve him. And this guard looks at you. This one is definitely, it's still Kasatha. Almost everyone in here is Kasatha. But this one looks like a female. And she says, did anyone get you food or drink? And the answer is no, no one has gotten you anything yet.
Nope, I've been waiting for... I look at my watch. Well, about 20 minutes.
Okay, I will have someone get something for you. And in the meantime, she kind of looks you over. Let me get you something for... You look a bit beat up.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just sick of being ogled at like a piece of meat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he bothering you?
Well, he was trying to get to know me on a personal level, and I shut him down, but he seemed a bit offended by that.
Did he threaten you?
I wouldn't exactly say threatened. He put his hand on the hilt of his gun, but I'm not threatened by that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you're not, but that's completely inappropriate behavior. Thank you for letting me know. As his supervisor, I'm going to see that he's penalized severely for that behavior.
I appreciate that.
All right, one moment. She turns and walks off for a minute and then comes back. All right, we should have food and drink over here shortly. And she pulls out a bottle of a kind of a gel-like salve and offers it to you. If you want to put this on any wounds you have or bruises, it should clean things up for you.
I'm gonna take it and say, oh, thank you.
I mean, you don't obviously have to use it now. I'm sorry. I don't mean to imply that you should do anything in public, but, you know, in your quarters, privately, it should help.
I didn't realize I still looked that beat up.
So you actually had like a fatigue of 35 and wounds of 17.
Oh, no, I know.
That out because, oh, okay. I didn't realize if you like actually didn't realize how beat up you looked.
It was worse than that before I healed myself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to imply anything. Obviously, you look lovely, but you know, badass women have to take care of each other, and you looked like you could use some help.
Thank you. I'm going to sniff the salve.
It smells like salve. It doesn't really have much of a scent, to be honest. It kind of stings a little bit. You think there might be some kind of like an alcohol in there?
Okay. Can I make like a medicine check to see if I know what it is?
Sure, go ahead. It's not something you're familiar with. You would guess this is something that they probably have around here as like a salve for the Barathu, as some kind of an attempt to ward off the war part. It's not something you've ever seen before. And it's
interesting.
It doesn't even resemble anything you've used medicinally.
I'm going to pocket it for now.
Okay.
And I'll keep waiting for my food.
The food arrives in roughly 5 minutes.
Wow, such service.
Well, they had to run to the cafeteria and back.
It took 20 minutes.
Well, no, the implication being that the first one didn't actually do anything, and she had to go get someone else to do it for you.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Well, I can't tell what you're saying in character or not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do a voice, and it's obviously not working.
I'm sorry. Okay. After another few minutes of waiting, the Kasatha that led you in here to begin with walks back over and says, well, it's going to take a lot more testing to make sure that this is safe, but it does look like it's actually a cure. In fact, coupled with Soshi, we're pretty confident Cassian actually did it.
Well, I'm not exactly surprised, seeing as how she is alive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but this is very shocking to us. We'll probably run 1 or 2 more tests, but you're free to go. Unless, of course, you want to stick around and see us start distributing it, see the fruits of your labor, as it were.
Well, it's not exactly my labor. How long did you say? You said you had to run several more tests?
Well, we were thinking of running a couple more, but I don't even really see the point. I think it's pretty clear. This is definitely a cure. I don't know how Cassian did it. It's attacking the fungus in a way that separates the fungus from the Barathu nervous system. Everything we've tried previously, when it attacked the fungus, the nervous system went with it, and this is somehow separating it. We can't figure out how it works exactly. We've got the gist of it from the tests we've done so far, but we didn't even think that was possible.
Well, I'm very glad that the cure is working, or in theory.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm really overwhelmed right now. But you're free to go if you'd like. Anything that we can offer you is yours. If your ship needs to be fueled up, or if you need any supplies, whatever we can do. Just thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Let me check in and see if we need anything, but I might gather the rest of my group and see if they're interested in watching the distribution.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll run a couple more tests. She checks a watch on one of her arms. Yeah, maybe in, we'll say 2 hours.
That should be plenty of time.
Okay, great. We'll wait for you guys then. Thank you again. I can't even begin to express how grateful we are.
I'm happy to help. And then I start to walk away.
Okay. All right, where are you headed?
I'm gonna go to the reception area where I was before to see if anybody is like wandering through there.
Okay. Well, let me pop over to Ergon for a second. Okay. So Ergon, for now, you know, and Ergon would know this, that responses through or communication over the distance of space does take some time. So you know you're not going to get an immediate response. But your letter is successfully sent.